Normally, a graphic work is composed by the geometrical and colorful aspect and the textual element. The first comprehends lines, shapes, and images, while the second all the words and their meaning. The geometrical and colorful aspect, unlike the textual one, is what immediately attracts you, but all these parts together must be properly balanced in order to make a good impression.
A graphic work is made by three components: images, texture, and words. We have just seen that between the components of graphic design we can find images that are used to communicate thoughts and ideas, to tell stories or to decorate, and this is because communicating only with words can often be difficult. Other than that, we usually think that graphic design was born in the 20th century or so, but actually images in this context are used since the time of Egyptian hieroglyphs. The second component of graphic design is the texture, which is basically the surface quality or feel of an object. We can recognize two types of this component. At first we have actual texture, which can be felt with fingers, and then we have a simulated texture that is suggested by the artist, so it looks like a certain type of material, but you can't really feel it. Texture is often mistaken with pattern, but there is a difference. As I already said, texture can be seen as well as felt. For example, we can think of sandpaper or wooden, while pattern is a visual element that repeats itself. For example, we can think of gift wraps with drawings like stars or balloons that repeat.
In a graphic work, words and messages are very important. They can be connected to an image or express their message on their own. Also, they have an aesthetic value. As a matter of fact, when we create a graphic work, we must select a specific font, called also typeface, which anyone can associate with the message that we want to communicate.
First, a font can be bold when the thickness of the stroke is intensified, or italic when the letters are oblique. Moreover, we can classify fonts in two groups, serif and sans serif. The difference is that the serif fonts have a small line at the end of the characters, while sans serif fonts have no extra strokes. Also, other small groups exist. These are Script, Fantasia, Monospace, Black Letter and Symbol. But let me analyze them one at a time. Script is a font that imitates handwriting. Fantasia is a font in which there are characters that recall particular objects. An example is a font used for Harry Potter books and film, in which the letter resemble lightning bolts. While serif and sans serif can be used both for the body and the title, normally Script and Fantasia are used only for the title. Additionally, monospace fonts are generally used on display code, but originally they were used on typewriters. Black letters fonts have a Gothic style and they are no longer used, except for the newspaper titles. And finally, symbol fonts are made only by icons or emoji.
To design an artwork, artists order the elements through principles. These principles and techniques are choose the visual hierarchy, color palette, legability and font, proportion between graphic and text, do not choose images with poor quality, grammar and spelling with space. The first is choose what we want to show more than what we want to overshadow through dimensions and colors. For the color palette, it's better not to use more than 5 colors to have a good job, not to use discordant colors because they can confuse and make the reading unclear. We choose complementary colors from the chromatic spectrum. For legability and font, do not use more than 3 characters and stick to the same family to give consistency to the text. Readability depends on the font, so we have to choose the font that best expresses the message we want to send. Proportion between graphic and text, making everything pleasing to the eye, creating continuity and union between the components of the work. Do not choose images with poor quality. Choose clear images that are not pixelated to make your work better. You can also use apps to make them. For grammar and spelling, check carefully at the end of the work that you have not made any grammar and spelling errors, so that the reader will not stray away. White space is fine. It is not necessary to fill every space. White spaces are a break from images and colors that will help the reader to focus.
E sotto l'onda profonda insieme io e te, che bello i pesci stare a guardare, che baraonda, gioconda, pepe, e il pesce tromba che sta a suonare. Se piaccio che con te ballano, scampiorate con me. Sera, la piena, ecco che inizia il gran galà. Che in festa, la testa con sepi e scampi saltan già. Nella padella con la pastella, che fritto misto per noi. Se piaccio che con te ballano, scampiorate con me. Sera, la piena, ecco che inizia il gran galà. Che in festa, la testa con sepi e scampi saltan già. Nella padella con la pastella, che fritto misto per noi.